Good morning, student. This video is for the Flexor Retinaculum. Okay, and this Flexor Retinaculum is a fibrous band in front of the carpal bones. Okay, these carpal bones, they are arranged in two rows, as you must have already learned. Proximal and distal row of the carpal bones, they are arranged in the or we say they are 4 in the proximal and 4 in the distal. And if you cut a section of this, then you will see that this is the scaphoid, then this is the lunate, triquetral and pisiform. This is the proximal row, the section passing through the proximal row of the carpal bones. The distal row will consist of the trapezium, trapezoid, capitate and hamate, which is not shown in this diagram because the diagram is passing from the proximal row of the carpal bones. Now these 4 carpal bones, they are present here in the region of the wrist, just distal to the wrist joint. Okay, radius. Okay, articulating with this carpal bones will form a wrist joint. So it is distal to that of the wrist joint, and these 4 bones and the retinaculum which is attached to it is a dense made up of the dense connective tissue, very strong, lying in front of these 4 carpal bones. Okay, now these carpal bones, as I said, that I would say this fibrous band, what is called is the flexor retinaculum, extend laterally from scaphoid and trapezium, and then on to the medial side, this fibrous band which is called as the flexor retinaculum. This is the flexor retinaculum, and medially it is attached to the pisiform and to the hamate bone, to the hook of the hamate bone. Thus this retinaculum or the fibrous band, it is postal size. That means hardly it is 1.5 centimeter in proximo-distal direction and 1.5 centimeter it is into the side-to-side direction. So it is almost a square in shape. Now this band or this retinaculum, flexor retinaculum, which is attached to the margin of the carpal bones in proximal and distal row, it forms a tunnel-like space. That is the tunnel formed by the concavity formed by the ventral aspect of the carpal bone, and then this fibrous band extending from the lateral to medial side. It gives rise to a tunnel-like structure which is quite narrow. Though I have shown here the structures which are deep to this flexor retinaculum, there is a lot of space is seen around them, but in real thing there is hardly any space is there, and they are tightly filling to this tunnel-like space. Okay, so this is the carpal tunnel. So deep to the flexor retinaculum or posterior, there is a space what is called as the carpal tunnel, okay, formed by the bone and the fibrous band of the flexor retinaculum. Now, if you see the proximal continuity of the flexor retinaculum, this flexor retinaculum will become continuous with that of the deep fascia covering the front of the forearm. And distally, if you see the continuity of the flexor retinaculum, then it is said to continue with a triangular fibrous band which forms the intermediate part of the, according to some people, the deep fascia, what is called as the palmar aponeurosis. Okay, and this is continuous and posteriorly with the tendon of the palmaris longus. So this is palmaris longus tendon which is continuous with the flexor, on the surface of the flexor retinaculum. Okay. Now, what you see here in the flexor retinaculum, that there are the various structures which are related to its superficial surface. On this surface, in cross section, various structures are related. For example, from the lateral side, the muscles which are called as the thenar muscles, okay, they take origin which forms the ball at the base of the thumb. Similarly, on to the hypothenar side also, these are the 3 small muscles of the little finger, which takes origin also from the medial margin of the flexor. So it gives attachment beside the other attachment. These are the two important attachments of the flexor retinaculum. The other superficial structures which are related on superficial surface are shown here. This after the thenar muscle, this is the superficial palmar branch of the radial nerve. Okay, this is a superficial palmar branch of the radial nerve is here, and this will be most laterally, I would say the radial artery, not nerve, superficial palmar branch of the radial nerve, superficial palmar branch of the radial artery. This is the superficial palmar branch of the radial artery. Then will come a nerve which will lie here, and this is the palmar cutaneous branch, okay, of the median nerve. This is the palmar cutaneous branch, palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. And this branch is given before the median nerve enter deep inside. This is the median nerve which is entering deep inside the tunnel, okay, or deep to the flexor retinaculum. Just before it goes inside, this gives a branch which is the palmar cutaneous branch, okay. And then will come the tendon, that is the palmaris longus tendon, and another nerve is called as the palmar cutaneous branch of the ulnar nerve. Palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar nerve. Okay, this is for the supply in the front of the palm. Okay, cutaneous branch. And then will come the two more structure here, and it is the ulnar artery and the ulnar nerve. Okay, ulnar artery and ulnar nerve will be going here. This is ulnar artery and ulnar nerve they will be. So many structures are related superficial to that of the flexor retinaculum. If we see the structures which are in the carpal tunnel are deep to the flexor retinaculum, okay, what we will see that most laterally there is the presence of this tendon, what is called as the flexor, this will be the flexor carpi radialis, flexor carpi radialis, okay, that is the most lateral radialis, the flexor carpi radialis tendon, which is in a separate compartment of the flexor retinaculum attached to the scaphoid bone, and this tendon is surrounded by its own synovial sheath. What I did is that in the red color I have just drawn the synovial sheath, okay. Then deep inside in the tunnel, proper tunnel itself, this is the median nerve, okay. This is the median nerve which is going deep to the flexor retinaculum. More on to the lateral side, this is the flexor pollicis longus, flexor pollicis longus muscle tendon. Excuse me. This is the tendon of which is also surrounded by on its synovial sheath, okay. And its synovial sheath will continue till the terminal end of the thumb, and sometimes the synovial sheath on the flexor pollicis longus tendon is called as the radial bursa. So this synovial sheath is also known as radial bursa. Then there are two sets of the tendons which are the long flexor tendon. These are the four tendons of the flexor digitorum superficialis. So just I will give name here as flexor digitorum superficialis, four tendons, okay, arranged in two rows. Then there are four tendons of the flexor digitorum profundus, flexor digitorum profundus. And all these 8 tendons, they are involved, they are covered by the synovial sheath, and it forms a common synovial sheath for flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. And sometimes this sheath is called as the ulnar bursa, because this was called as the radial bursa for flexor pollicis longus. This is called as the ulnar bursa. Okay, so these are the structure, but in the separate compartment here there is the ulnar artery and the ulnar nerve, which we have already seen here, which lies most medially close to that of the PZ form bore. So this is about the flexor retinaculum, its relationship, its extent, and what lies, okay, on the superficial and what lies deep to this flexor retinaculum. Let us come to its applied importance, what is called as the carpal tunnel syndrome. This is a syndrome which gives rise to the various complications, okay, and this is because there is a, since this tunnel is very congested, many structures are passing through, though as I said I have drawn them apart, but they are very close to each other. In case of any infection, any growth or any pressure from inside or from outside this tunnel, okay, if there is something increases in this tunnel, say for example the synovial sheath, radial bursa or the ulnar bursa due to infection, there is a swelling, it will compress to the structure. Since they are all other structures, they are tendons which are made up of the collagen fibers, they will not have any effect of this compression. Only structure which will be affected of the compression is the median nerve. And this median nerve, as it is going deep to the flexor retinaculum, at a distal border it will divide into terminal branches, cutaneous branches, and one more branch will be given which is recurrent and will go to the muscles of the thenar eminence, okay, which will supply the three muscles which moves the thumb, okay, various movements which takes place because. So it has a sensory supply, and sensory supply of this median nerve through its two terminal branches will be for whole of the thumb, the hypothenar, then the finger, that is the index finger, then the middle finger, and part of the half of the ring finger will be supplied by these structure. But then the middle part of the palm will not be affected because it is supplied by this palmar cutaneous branch of the median nerve, which is not passing through the flexor retinaculum, but it is passing superficial to the flexor retinaculum. That's why the middle part of the palm, that is the skin, will be preserved, sensation will be preserved. Otherwise, what will be the problem in carpal tunnel? The patient will come and will complain that I am having the tingling sensation, pain, or burning, okay, and it is into the lateral 3.5 finger. These three, thumb, index finger, the middle finger, and half of the ring finger, all these finger will show the sensory, okay, sensation, altered sensation may be including from tingling, burning to that of the pain sensation, and severe sensation will be there. At the same time, the patient will also control in the motor deficit because this nerve is a recurrent branch after passing from carpal tunnel is supplying to the muscles of the thenar eminence which moves the thumb. So there will be the weakness in the movement of the thumb because he will not be able to move properly because the nerve is compressed, okay, because now. So there will be the motor problem as well as sensory problem. What is this condition is called, when the patient will come with this complaint, immediately you can diagnose that there is some compression within the carpal tunnel or within the tunnel, and this is due to the compression on the median nerve, okay, and that's why this is called as the carpal tunnel syndrome. So the nerve affected is the median nerve. Now how to get rid of it, okay, how to treat it? The surgeons, they will do a surgery, what is called as the release of the carpal tunnel, and they will make an incision into the this carpal tunnel, which is, to the flexor retinaculum. They will cut the flexor retinaculum more towards the medial side, okay, more towards the medial side, not towards that of the lateral side. So somewhere here this flexor retinaculum is cut partly or completely, and then the pressure is released, which is compressing to the median nerve is released. Why this incision is given onto the lateral side? The reason is that the recurrent branch of the median nerve, which is supplying to the muscles of the base of the thumb, thenar eminence, may get cut. Okay, or if you are doing the incision onto the medial side, the nerve is already there on the medial side, which may also, lateral side, which may also cut. So most of the incision to release the carpal tunnel syndrome, they are given onto the medial side, just to protect the recurrent branch and medial nerve onto the, and whatsoever here there is no nerves are seen here in this part. Thank you very much for this.